Welcome to my devlog of me updating my Pyramid Sim game. My original Pyramid Sim game is available to download and play for free, and the updated version, when it's ready, will be available to download and play for free sometime in the future, and the link will be in the description. This is the entrance to the pyramid on my original game, and I'm going to show you one part that I'm going to be updating. So I'm going to go into the entrance. So if I keep going down here, it'll take me to the subterranean chamber. And if I go up these stairs, it goes up to the Queen's chamber and to the King's chamber. Okay, so on the left is the entrance to the Queen's chamber. This is the entrance to the Queen's chamber. And what I want to change is I want to change the Queen's chamber, which is on the left, and put it in the middle of these stairs. So it'll be right here where I'm standing. That's the part I want to change. When I made the original model, I didn't know that the Queen's chamber was in the middle of the stairs. I found this out when I finally saw a picture of it, and that's how I found out. I only had measurements of one dimension, so this dimension, I didn't have measurements. I didn't know how this went together, so I had to estimate this, and that's why I put it on the left. I didn't know it was in the middle of the stairs. So as soon as I found that out, I seen a picture of it, and that's one thing that I wanted to fix on my model. So that's one of the updates I'll be making on this new update of my Pyramid Sim game. This is the Unreal Engine version 5 of the Pyramid Mesh. I had to split the game into two portions. One was using Unreal Engine 4, where the game portion existed. The other was the Unreal Engine 5, where the Pyramid Mesh portion existed. So in the Pyramid Mesh game is where I created the model for the pyramid. And then later I moved that pyramid over to the Unreal Engine 4 version, where the game portion existed. The reason I did it this way is because I had some technical difficulties getting the game portion to work in Unreal Engine 5. So that's why I did it this way. I probably would have had to, even if I did the whole thing in Unreal Engine 5, I probably would have to split it up this way anyways, because the modeling portion was, very complex, and it would have been easier to do that in a separate, probably a separate game to keep it separated. Anyway, so now I have to refamiliarize myself with what I was doing because this was somewhat complicated. And I don't remember, exactly everything I was doing. Um, to the left here are these big blocks were used to hollow out the pyramid, and this is the original pyramid here, and then this is the hollowed out pyramid, and that was hollowed out by using these blocks. So I'll show you these blocks up close. This was the initial block, and then this was the block where I created the doorway entrance. And then that doorway entrance was used to poke out the door and to hollow out the inside of the pyramid here. Here's the doorway, and the inside is hollowed out. It's hollowed out so I can make room in the pyramid for the inside guts of the pyramid, and this section here is the guts of the pyramid. And I'm going to be modifying the guts of the pyramid primarily. So that's what I'm going to attempt to do once I refamiliarize myself with this model. These poles are sticking up here that look like scaffolding. Those were used to make measurements of the pyramid so I can make sure to have everything in the correct position. And I'm still going to probably need to use those as I'm doing the new modeling to make sure everything is in the right position. This is a fairly accurate model of the correct size of the actual real pyramid. And this inside guts portion is what I'm going to be ripping apart and then modifying next. This is the new model that I'm creating to fix the entrance to the Queen's Chamber. And this is a stairway that goes from here up to the Queen's Chamber, which is about here, and then the King's Chamber is here. And this is the old stairway that's being replaced. And I'll just show the bottom of this. And there's a lot of components that have to be put back in place and maybe some other modifications, but this is the main model that needs to be modified. This is the entrance to the Queen's Chamber, and the new entrance is in the middle of the stairs here. You can see it goes all the way through to the end of that will be where the Queen's Chamber will be. Before, the Queen's Chamber was on the left over here. And like I said before, I made this mistake because I didn't have a blueprint that showed where things were in this dimension. I had some measurements in this direction of where things were. There's not like full blueprints to the pyramid, at least none that I could find. This is the old entrance to the Queen's Chamber. And notice there's a drop off here. So this is the new entrance, which is here. So it's shifted over from it used to be here and now it's here. And you can see there's a drop off that I created inside here, just like this drop off. The pyramid has a drop off here for no apparent reason, but that's the way it is. Now, the entire Queen's Chamber here will be shifted over to here. So the whole thing's going to be shifted over. And that's the main modification I'm making to fix the entrance to the Queen's Chamber. Now, this hole here will be gone. This will just be a wall here. So this whole thing will go away. This is the completed new model for the pyramid. I remade every one of the meshes. The meshes you see floating around on the side are all the old meshes, and all of these old meshes that are floating on the outside are all going to be deleted. All of these. I'm just showing the inside part right now. The outside of the pyramid is sitting over here. So I think the new model is a lot simpler. This is the descending passageway. This is the subterranean chamber. This piece over here is part of the old model that will be deleted also. This was the passageway to the Queen's chamber. That's been replaced now with a new model. So that will be deleted. Now, this is the ascending passageway. This is the grand gallery. This is the Queen's chamber. And this is the King's chamber. Now, everything looks gray right now because I haven't added any of the materials yet. After I add the materials, then it'll look better. I'm going to run the game so I can show you what the models look like when it's running. That's the ascending passageway on the right. I'm going to go down to the subterranean chamber first. This is a long ways down. This is the lowest point, the subterranean chamber. And this is the pit. I might add some lights to this. I made it so you can't fall into the pit because if you did, I just have to figure out a way to get you out of it. So I don't let you fall in there as if there's like a glass plate over it. This is a dead end corridor. That's the dead end. Now the subterranean chamber is unfinished, and that's how come I put these rocks on the wall. This doesn't look exactly like the subterranean chamber looks in reality, but I didn't know exactly what to do with it. I might change it, but I can't, really figure out where to put the rocks to make it look the same. So I'm not sure how I'm going to do this. But for now, I'm just going to keep it like this. Okay, this is the point of intersection where the descending passage has the change over to the ascending passage. Now, right now I have it so you can stand up on the ascending passage, but this should be required that you have to kneel down. So I'm going to lower this before I release it. But for now, while I'm testing, I'll have it so you can stand up. Now, this was the big change I made where the passage to the Queen's chamber is now in the middle of the stairs. So that's what that looks like. I guess I'll go in there now. I'll show you the Queen's chamber first. Now this is the new Queen's chamber, and I created the notch. And I created I guess I'll call this the air shaft, although they don't think they're really air shafts. The ones in the Queen's chamber, they don't go all the way to the outside the pyramid. That's one, and that's the other one. And so that's what the Queen's chamber looks like. The camera, it clips because the passageway is so narrow. I don't think there's really anything I can do about that unless I want to widen the passage, which would not be realistic. Now this is the Grand Gallery, and I created corbel walls now. I think it turned out to look pretty good. Now this is the entrance to the King's Chamber. This is the antechamber. They say they think the antechamber, they used to have stone blocks that were lowered to block the entrance. And this is the King's Chamber. And I put the air shafts in the King's Chamber. There's one over here, and there is one over here. And this is the sarcophagus. Forgot I can stand up here. I'm going to lower this layer so you have to kneel down. And that's the end of the demo. I still have to, do all the rest of the work have to fix the lighting and put the materials on. But it won't be too long until it's finished now.